What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters. Welcome to the Lights Metal. It's time for a rock metal update. That's right. Time for rock and metal update. This one's going to be all 7-inch, and it's going to be just a handful of bands, but I've added a bunch of new 7-inch singles to some of my favorite 70s bands collection, so I'm going to start showing those. First one is all these bands that I'm going to show. There's multiple albums from each, so but the first one, I only have one, but it's such a cool promo single. I've just never seen it before, and it's in such immaculate shape. But this is Whiskey River, backed with Stranded by Budgie on the 10 Kappa Records label, in the original sleeve with the white label promo. As you can see, pretty cool. I love Budgie, one of my favorite bands from the 70s and into the 80s, but finding Budgie singles is pretty, rare, especially in the US, and I got this one super cheap, and like I said, it looks like it's never been played. It's in absolutely mint condition, the sleeve and the record. So alright, next band is from Germany. This is the Scorpions, and I'm just going to go ahead and show all of what I caught from them here. Alright, so we've got, some of these are freaking gems. They just don't pop up very often, and they're definitely not cheap, but this is Yuli era Scorpions, my favorite era of the Scorpions, and this is Pictured Life, backed with Catch Your Train, Japanese pressing on the RCA label, obviously. So not only is it a rare single, even if it was a German pressing, to find a Japanese pressing is even more rare. But I do confess, a lot of singles I don't pay a whole lot for. I buy them in bulk. I'm constantly searching for them. This one I paid up for. It's just one that I've been looking for forever. It never shows up cheap. So I grabbed a copy when it was at a decent price. I'm not paying, definitely not going to be paying no $100 for a single like this. So I paid far less than that for this one. But still, it's more than I would normally spend on a single. But it's just so great. This one too, and this one I literally paid about $20 or $25, which is really cheap for this single in this condition. But this is Sales of Sharon, backed with Steam Rock Fever. Again, Yuli era Scorpions, Japanese pressing on the RCA label. So dang cool. It just, like I said, one of those that never, shows up. So glad to have it as part of my Scorpions collection, which one of these days I'll just have to do a Scorpion 7-inch collection, because I probably have now like 30 or 40 Scorpion singles. So, shoot, I've got at least 10 here that I'm showing. So another Yuli era. This is an interesting one. This one I believe is from Spain. Could be Mexico, I forget now. But again, it's on the RCA label. It's a 4-track EP. So you've got He's a Woman, She's a Man, Steam Rock Fever, All Night Long, and Suspended Love. Everything is in Spanish, so it's I don't read Spanish, so it's kind of hard for me to read any of it. But still, a very cool single. And it's kind of just a plain white sleeve with a wraparound, 7.5 inch by 7.5 inch. I don't know what you call it, gatefold kind of thing. Kind of like the Japanese singles. These Japanese singles, literally, they have a record company sleeve, and then they have this two-sided insert in front of it. Well, this just happens to have a gatefold that wraps around it instead. Still very cool. Anything Yuli era Scorpions I'm interested in. Anything Scorpions pretty much, especially if it's 70s or the early 80s stuff, which this next one is as well. This is a promotional single, mono stereo for Make It Real. I believe this was 1980, maybe 79. Let's see here. I can't remember what it was. 1980. And it looks a little odd. It looks like it's like the center label's faded. It's not. It's just they only used, usually it's a 4-color process they use on the center labels, which gives it that city, that City of the Fool look. Instead, what they got here is they used the black and cyan inks only. So that's why it looks like that. And again, it's a promo single, same song on both sides, in the original Mercury sleeve, mono stereo version. Mercury Records is funny because after a certain time, like mid-80s, there just wasn't a Mercury sleeve anymore. They just started using white sleeves. Either that or they had picture sleeves. Alright, now we're getting into very later era Scorpions, but this is the Rhythm of Love on the Mercury label. This is just, I believe this is a US pressing that I picked. I just didn't have this one and found it. I think I have a Japanese pressing of this, so I grabbed this US pressing in a bundle with a bunch of other stuff. So again, anything Scorpions I'm interested in. This is a later pressing of Holiday, And I don't remember what's on the other side, but I believe this is a German pressing. Holiday and Love Drive. And this thing is from what, 1989? It looks like, yeah, 1989, which is odd that these is a single from '89 that was released for songs that were really, recorded in 1980, I believe, or '79, somewhere in that area. But what it was is a promotional thing for the Best of collection that they called the Best of the Rockers and the Ballads, which is a terrible name for an album, but that's what this is from. So cool picture of the band in the front. Great songs, like I said, from 79, 80 era. Don't Believe Her. This is a UK pressing. I picked this up. There's a great store in the UK. I pick up a lot of stuff called Vinyl Tap. Unfortunately, I haven't been buying anything from them lately because of the shipping mail issues they're having in the UK, and stuff's just been stuck. I've got orders that have been sitting, that's been sent from the UK. I bought stuff in December, it's still not showed up. So I'm just avoiding buying anything from the UK at this point until they get their shipping crap straightened out, and maybe some of my stuff starts showing up. I'm trying to be patient with the sellers, so it's not their fault, but I mean, December, that's a long time, so you know what I mean? Anyhow, Don't Believe Her, backed with Restless Nights, and I think this is, I'm trying to find the year on here, 1990, I think this was. There's a movie soundtrack, 2 Scorpion songs. It doesn't even say Scorpions on the front, except for itty bitty right there. But it's obviously the Free Jack soundtrack. But it's got Hit Between the Eyes. I believe it's the same track on both sides, but let me just read over and if I can remember. Yeah, Hit Between the Eyes. So basically a promo single, same song both sides. Here's the back cover. Just a cool collectible single. It was a song that wasn't on wasn't on an album. It was for this soundtrack. Didn't even know there was a 7-inch single released for it. So cool. This is it German, UK? I don't know. Oh no, Spain. So it's a Spain copy. There you go. And then this was not Scorpions, but it's related slightly. It's actually the link between this band and the next band that I'm showing, but this is I'm always looking for Michael Schenker stuff. This happens to be Macaulay Schenker, one of his mid-80s stuff. I picked this up, as you can see, from Vinyl Tap as well, in a bulk. I bought a bunch of stuff all at one time. Save, if you're going to pay $15 for shipping, you might as well, and you don't have to pay any extra. I just usually stack on as much as I could find. This happens to be a UK pressing of Rock Till You're Crazy and Gimme Your Love. And as I said, that was a connection to the next band in this. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 singles here from this band. From their space rock period, from the first album, UFO 1, this is Come On Everybody. I think I've got like 3 or 4 different singles for this song. Backed with Timothy. And I can't remember this one's. This one's German. So, on the Decca label. And the next one also is from the Decca label. This is Galactic Love and Loving Cup from the UFO Live album. And it also is on the Decca label. But, no, I thought there was a picture of the album on the back. So, yeah, UFO Live was from Decca Center label. I think the other one that I just put away, the back has a picture of the album. Let me see. Yeah, there it is. Cool picture of UFO 1. So, anyhow, now we're getting up into the Schenker era stuff. The next one will be. This is kind of when they went from being the space rock to the first wave of British heavy metal band that they're known as. But this is Shoot Shoot, backed with Love Lost Love. And as you can see, there's Sir Schenker himself sitting right there, along with Pete Way and Phil Mogg and whatnot. Love UFO. This one I actually got in a VCLT video. I showed it in the VCLT video, but I'm going to include it again because it's just so cool. But this is UFO. The Only You Can Rock Me, Cherry, and Rock Bottom 3-track EP. It's on red vinyl, which is Don't see that often from the 70s. And it also has the exclusive Frisbee offer. I wonder if I can still get my UFO Frisbee. Probably not. And then finally, this one is from 1978. Another promo single, white label. Don't see UFO promo singles very often, especially in this condition, near mint. But this is UFO, Only You Can Rock Me, stereo and mono version. It was sent out to radio stations back in the day. Again, super duper clean version and an original chrysalis sleeve. So, all right, moving on. So we had Scorpions, we had UFO, Budgie. Now we're moving into the U.S. And there is 1, 2, 3, 4 from this artist. Another one of my favorites, as you know. I mean, it wouldn't even be a 7-inch video from Null to Metal if I didn't show something from this guy. So this is a promo single from the UK from Ted Nugent. It actually has 2 Ted Nugent songs on here. Hey Baby and Turn It Up, both on the A side. And then for whatever reason, the B side, there's a track from a band called Lone Star. The Lone Star track is, let's see, I'm pretty sure the back of the, yeah, here it is. There's A New Day and A Million Stars, taken from the CBS self-titled Lone Star album. So there you can see the back of there's the back of the sleeve, and then the front. But again, as you can see, promotional copy, not for sale. Well, I bought it. So. Always looking for unusual Nugent stuff to collect, you know, vinyl, almost anything Nugent I collect. So this was a cool find. I actually had this on my radar for a long time, but and it's not a super expensive single. I mean, you can probably find copies online for, you know, under 20 bucks. The problem is most of the copies are in, you know, Germany and the UK, and the shipping to the United States right now is also 20 bucks on like eBay and Discogs and places like that. And I just don't want to pay $40 for that single. But again, I bought that in a lot. I might have got it also from that vinyl tap place in the UK. I can't remember now. Next one is a jukebox single, one of those hits on both sides kind of singles. So you've got Free For All on the side A and Cat Scratch Fever on side B, and it's a hit oldie, and as you can see, it's got the full jukebox slips inside of it in the original sleeve. Again, anything Nugent, I'm always looking for. This is just a US pressing, demo pressing. Again, sent to radio stations mostly. For Ted Nugent's Where Have You Been All My Life from the first album. Not a hit single from that album. There was some, you know, much more well-known singles in that album, but this was not one. But again, you got mono and stereo on this one in the original orange Epic sleeve. This one's really cool because this one never shows up. There is a copy on eBay right now if you're interested in this one, with this same, you know, picture sleeve, but it's not cheap. But this is I Want to Tell You by Ted Nugent with Bite Down Hard on the B side. I Want to Tell You being the let me just make sure I'm telling you the correct information on here. Take a State of Shock, produced by Cliff Davies. Poor Cliff Davies, he passed away years ago. Gosh, it doesn't say who wrote it, but it's keep wanting to say the Beatles. It's not the Beatles. It's Wings, right? Is that who it is? I could be wrong. I'm forgetting. That's ridiculous. No, because Wings was Paul McCartney, and I believe the song was George Harrison. So, whatever. Anyhow, I Want to Tell You, written by George Harrison. I can't remember if he was in a band at the time, or I don't think it was the Beatles. It could have been a Beatles track. I don't remember. I'm not the biggest Beatles fanatic. I respect their history, and actually took a class on them in high school. But I don't remember who wrote that song, although I know it's George Harrison's track. And then finally, this is an original pressing from 1968, I think. Maybe 67, I can't remember. Baby Please Don't Go from Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes, who were just called the Amboy Dukes at that time. Eventually it became Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes. It's got Psalms of the Aftermath on the B-side. Not a hit for him, but a great song. I've always loved that song, no matter. It's been covered by a lot of different bands. Baby Please Don't Go. AC/DC covered it. Nugent covered it on Double Live Gonzo, which is one of my favorite versions. Aerosmith's covered, among many, many others. So, next is another one of my favorite 70s bands. Again, one you've heard a lot about on my channel, and you're probably sick of hearing about, but whatever. Got some Japanese pressings of Kiss. This one's from 77, the Love Gun album. Sorry, I lied. This is from 76, the Rock and Roll Over album. But this is Hard Luck Woman, backed with Mr. Speed, Japanese pressing. And then also from the same album, Calling Dr. Love, backed with, was it? Take Me, I think. Yeah, there it is, Take Me. Itty bitty little type. Take Me. So 2 singles from the same album from Japan, from Kiss. Love Rock and Roll Over. It's one of my all-time favorites. It's just raw, heavy rock and roll. I mean, back in the day, I called it heavy metal. People now would argue till they're blue in the face that it's not heavy metal, but whatever. All right, getting on to this is when they were kind of losing their identity a little bit, but this is a great song. It would have been even better if it had a beefier production as opposed to the slick production that Vinny Ponce had given this album. But this is Talk to Me, which is an Ace Frehley composition, and it's a great song, backed with Naked City. Another Ace Frehley single. This is the Rolling Stones cover of 2000 Man, backed with I Was Made for Loving You and Sure Know Something. And this single is from, I think it's German. I'm trying to make sure of that, but I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's not. Nope, UK. It's from the UK. It's made in England. So there you go. 2000 Man, backed with Sure Know Something and I Was Made for Loving You. This is cool because you never find singles from this album. I found 2. But this is The Oath, which is a great song from The Elder. I love The Elder. Not a lot of people hate The Elder, but I kind of dug it. I didn't even mind the more streamlined look of the band at the time. Backed with the song I, which was a Gene Simmons track. I think The Oath was a Paul Stanley track, and I need to look because I can't remember 100%. I should look at these things before I do a video, but I just wing it. You know, I'm not a professional. I'm just a music fanatic that likes to share my collection with others and likes to talk music with people. So, I was Gene Simmons, and The Oath is Paul Stanley, as I was correct. So, yeah, picture sleeve single for that, which is fantastic. And then here is a UK pressing of A World Without Heroes, backed with Mr. Blackwell. In the original Casablanca sleeves, and this is actually the a UK. You can tell the difference in the sleeves because it says marketed by Phonogram down the bottom, as opposed to the US versions that doesn't have that on there. But it is Casablanca Records and Filmworks, so that's another way you can tell if the sleeve is period accurate. Before it was just Casablanca Records, and there was no cameras on there. Here it goes from a camo and morphs to the camera. The earlier pressings had this brown sleeve, just at Casablanca, and it just had the camels. There's some nerdy stuff for you. Yeah, alright, this is getting into the really poppy stuff that Kiss did, but this is Reason to Live. Backed with Thief in the Night, and what can I say? I love, the unmasked era of Kiss. So, cool single. This one, I believe it's just the US. Hang on, I'm looking real quick. It might not be. Nope, I believe this is actually German. So. Alright, a horrible song. Even Paul Stanley admits now this is a horrible song. But this is, Let's Put the X in Sex, backed with Dr. Love, remixed version of Dr. Love. It's Kiss. I collect anything. Glad to have it in the collection. But it's a pretty, I don't know. It's not one of their best songs. Let's just put it that way. Another picture sleeve single, special limited edition red vinyl for Hide Your Heart. Backed with Betrayed from the Hot in the Shade album, and this one is, I think this is also a UK single, and I'm pretty sure I picked this one up from the same seller out in the UK. So it is red vinyl. It is like a opaque red vinyl. A lot of times they're translucent, but this one's opaque. Kind of a deep blood red. Not sure how well that showed up on the video, but. And then finally, this is not Kiss but related. This is a Ace Frehley's Into the Night. This is another promotional radio single in the original White Atlantic Records sleeve. I think it's just stereo on both sides, even stereo. Yeah, they stopped doing the mono stereo thing by this time. Anything is freely I collect. I'm just surprised. I've never seen this single in the sleeve before, but sure enough, it's an original pressing. And it's how it was shipped out to the record company. So I've seen picture sleeves of this, but first time I've seen one in a record company sleeve. So, all right, moving on to another band, and we are 20 minutes in. Holy crap! All right, I need to hurry up. Maybe I might have to break something in more than one video because I still have a lot to go. I love this stuff, man. I love talking about it. So, what can I say? All right. Another band from the U.S. This is Angel, another 70s band, one of those bands I grew up with and loves to this day. This is yet another pressing of Rock and Rollers. My Angel's vinyl collection, single collection is getting kind of silly, but on the original Neil Bogart Blue Casablanca label, and I'll be done. I can't remember where this is from. I should look this stuff up before I start showing it. But 76 is definitely the year. I can't see where it was from, but regardless, it doesn't make a difference. Rock and Rollers. Another picture sleeve for Angel. This is Ain't Gonna Eat My Heart Out Anymore. And let's see, this one I believe this is a French pressing. Yeah, it's all written in French, so therefore it's French pressing. But cool single. I mean, finding picture sleeve singles, finding any Angel singles is pretty rare. Finding picture sleeves is even more rare. So, not something you would have been able to do back in the days of just record digging, without the internet. With the internet these days, man, you can just find all kinds of cool stuff. And it's not like I go onto eBay and type in Angel Ain't Gonna Eat My Heart Out Anymore and look for it. I'm just looking for singles of any band, and if I find a seller that's got one thing I want, I'll look and see what else he has. So that's why I buy so many singles, because I buy them in lots. It's just cheaper that way, especially with the shipping. All right, next up, this is a radio promo single for Don't Leave Me Lonely. Same song, both sides, mono and stereo. In the original Casablanca sleeve, which you can see is the Casablanca Records and Filmworks sleeve. This is a U.S. pressing, and as you can see, it does not say distributed by, what did the other one say? Distributed by, what was that? Now I gotta look and see, it's gonna make me crazy. I love this album I'm listening to in the background. First time listening to it. A band called The Exclusions from the 60s. This one, Phonogram, yeah. The other one says marketed by Phonogram. This one says marketed and distributed by Casablanca Records and Filmworks. So that's a U.S. sleeve and a U.S. pressing. Winter Song, I think I have like 4 or 5 different pressings of this song. Some of them are like some of them have the Christmas song on the B-side. This one happens to have Can You Feel It on the B-side. But you often see this picture used around Christmas time of the band, of them pretending to be freezing with a fake backdrop. Still, it's just fun. And this is a German pressing. Next one is Japanese pressing for That Magic Touch. And She's a Mover. In the original sleeve. Again, Japanese pressings of Angel singles definitely don't show up. There is one seller on eBay who's got a few of them that I would love to have, but I mean, he has like 3, and it would probably cost me $200 for 3 singles with shipping and everything else, and it just ain't happening. So, but this one I got at a decent price, and it's in perfect condition. So I'm really glad to have that Angel, That Magic Touch. And this last one is related to Angel. This is a single for Cherry People. And suddenly, this is what, 1968, 69. This is actually Punky Meadows' band before he started getting into the real hard rock stuff and the heavy metal stuff. Because he was in a band called Bucks before Angel, which was great. I had that album too. Cherry People was definitely more, trippy, hippie, 60s kind of stuff. But it's just fun. I have the album. I don't listen to it that often. It doesn't sound anything like Angel. It's very much in that late 60s, almost kind of like what you hear in the background. But I couldn't pass this up. It's just such a cool looking single. Heritage label. Trying to see if he even wrote any of these songs. Nope, don't see his name on either one of the tracks. But he did write several songs. He did write a lot of songs for these guys and for Bucks. If you can find that Bucks album, it's fantastic. It's Punky Meadows on guitar, and it's got a singer whose name is going to slip my mind at the moment. I just know that he sang for the Joe Perry Project at one time, and it's a really, really good album. All right, moving on. This is going to be two bands that are related. All right, so we've got, if I can find the beginning of this, there we go. So first of all, we've got Thin Lizzy, another one of my favorite bands from the 70s, moving out of America, and now we're in Ireland. This is The Boys Are Back in Town, an MCA pressing. I think I've got 5 versions or 6 versions of this on 7-inch single, but this is the cool blue Mercury label and the original Mercury sleeve. There are several different versions of this that are U.S. pressings that are in this same exact sleeve. But yeah, this, I just never had the blue label, so, and it was not expensive. It wasn't expensive at all. So I snagged it when I was buying a bunch of other things from. This one I've never seen before. I was glad to have it. This is an EP. This is called Star Tracks from obviously Thin Lizzy. It is an Australia EP. I can't see the names of the tracks because the record is in the way. So you've got Jailbreak, Johnny the Fox meets Jimmy the Weed, The Boys Are Back in Town, and Waiting for an Alibi. 4-track EP, 33 RPM, unlike most singles, which are 45 RPM. And again, Thin Lizzy, I collect anything from. My Aerosmith is definitely my biggest 7-inch vinyl collection, but Motorhead and Thin Lizzy are not far behind. Alice Cooper too. My Alice Cooper collection is pretty large, but yeah, I have tons of Thin Lizzy in that. I'm always looking. This is one of the bands I'm always looking for on like eBay and stuff, and looking for decent prices or rare things that I don't have. And this happens to be where I found this one from. This next one, another one of those radio promos that's stereo and mono, promotional only. Same song both sides. Do anything you want. In the original Warner Brothers sleeve. This is a U.S. pressing. Again, Thin Lizzy, anything, especially promo things, you just don't see them very often. That's one I have, but it's an upgrade, and I've had this one for decades, but I found one online, which is rare, and this one was in fantastic condition. So, and it was also bought in part of the lot from Vinyl Tap, but it's Dedication, which is a post Thin Lizzy track. It was a song that Phil Lynott had written and was working on, didn't get finished, so the rest of the band for the Dedication album went in and finished the track, and it was become an unreleased track on the album called Dedication, which was basically, you know, greatest hits, best of. This is backed with Cold Sweat, and as you can see, it is a UK pressing on the Vertigo label. So Thin Lizzy, Dedication, cool track too. I don't know if he was writing it for Thin Lizzy or Grand Slam or solo albums, but it doesn't make a difference. It's still very Lizzy-esque track. So there you go. Getting out of Lizzy, but staying in Ireland and related is Gary Moore. Back on the Streets. I love this album. This is probably what, 1978, I believe. This is as you can see, a UK pressing on the Mercury label. I stumbled into a couple of these, so I hooked another friend up with one of the other ones. I do buy a lot of extra copies if I find them good prices just to send to friends. I don't resell stuff. I just give them to friends because friends give me stuff, so I feel I should give them stuff as back, you know. Anyhow, Back on the Streets, and Back on the Street on the Jet Records label, which was owned by Sharon Osbourne's father, whose name is slipping my mind at the moment because I'm just not quite awake. It is early in the morning, by the way, here. 78, but Back on the Street, stereo and nope, stereo. They're both stereo, but it's the same track, both sides. White label promo. I don't think this one ever had a sleeve. Don Arden, that's the guy who I believe owned Jet Records, and that's Sharon Osbourne's father. Sticking with the same era and the same artist, this is Spanish Guitar, backed with, I believe it's Spanish Guitar both sides, but I believe one side is instrumental. Let me see, I can't remember now. So we've got instrumental version and vocal version of Spanish Guitar. So this is a cool single. I've never seen this one before. I've never owned it before, so it was really cool to find. But front, back, cool single. I love Gary Moore. So, and then the next one is another one that I ended up finding multiple copies of, and I sent the extra one to my my buddy Harmless Rebel, who was also a big Thin Lizzy Gary Moore collector. But it is Shape of Things on the 10 record label from 1984, and backside is Blinder. Alright, this is going to be a long video. We're 30 minutes in, so I think what I'm going to do is cut the video here, and then I will start a second video with the rest. But I still got a pile of Aerosmith and Alice Cooper records to show. So that's it. I appreciate y'all watching. Leave comments below. I mean, everybody knows these bands, so it's not like you know. But I still love talking music with people. So leave a comment, thumbs up, all that kind of fun stuff. Appreciate you watching. God bless. Stay strong.